what's happening in England. The big one is happening. The FA Cup is happening this weekend, tomorrow precisely. It's going to be between Man City and Chelsea. If Chelsea wants to have any shot at playing in Europe, they need to win this game. Man City, since the glitch against Everton, they seems to bounce back, and they've been scoring goals for fun, and they are conceding less. What do you expect in that particular game? Do you think McFadden, the coach of Chelsea, do you think he will be able to pull up a surprise on Man City, or do you think it's a done deal for Man City? Man City is going to take it.
You said something now that Man City has been scoring very well and conceding less. So I think that is where Chelsea are going to struggle heavily, because Chelsea are struggling to score. They don't know how to score. They don't even know where the post is to score. So imagine if you don't know how to score and you're coming up against a team that has a very good defense. That is a recipe for disaster. You understand? So based on what you've said and the reality that we have now, Man City's defense is solid and the attack is solid. Chelsea's defense at the moment is terrible and the attack is terrible. So what it just tells us is the tie is mostly in Man City's favor. Considering the fact that this might be Guardiola's last season in Manchester City, he might want to give it his all. Yes, and I give it a go. While for Chelsea, it's gotten to a point whereby you talk about Chelsea and then you just shake your head how they went from winning the Club World Cup to finishing. They might finishing if he has not taken in a 12th position on the Premier League table. It's very surprising actually, but then that's the reality when you don't have people that know how to run a football club, buy a football club. So that's what we get, and I don't see anything twitching towards Chelsea winning the game, because the morals of the players are low. The morals of the players are low. You can see somebody like Palma underperforming. You can see Pedro Neto struggling. You can see Garnacho struggling, Liam Delap struggling. A whole host of their players are struggling. You understand? Except the only person bringing the spark into the team are Enzo Fernandez and João Pedro with Cucurella as always. You understand? But the rest have just been struggling. And then you look at the Man City side, you hardly even see somebody that is struggling. We wanted to believe that Savinho is struggling, but then he scored. This is their previous match where they won 3-0. He scored. So technically, and it was an heavily rotated squad, whereby Haaland was on the bench, Cheki was on the bench, Semenyo was on the bench. You understand? You have people like Mamouche, Foden, Savinho starting the game and still scoring 3 goals. So imagine if Man City had actually used their starting 11, you understand? So it is very, very disastrous. So it is good attack, good defense versus bad attack, bad defense, and we already know the outcome. But in football, you need luck. You understand?
Yeah, that's true.
Whatever you do, you need luck in football. And you can see that from a club called Getafe. There's a club called Getafe in Spain. They play typical Aram football, but they are very lucky. Getafe had 0 shot on target, but they won the match. Getafe is the only team that had 3 shots and they scored 2 goals. You understand? So in football, you just need luck. You understand? And just the way, but there's always something about Chelsea in finals. You just cannot rule them out. Even though in England, they've been struggling in finals, but Chelsea are a big club. When it comes to finals, sometimes they pop up and sometimes they don't. But we just hope that they pop up, you understand, and not just allow Man City walk over them. So, but as at now, today's date, I think Manchester City are the favorites to win that competition.
Well, I mean, I will take you down the line. There was in 2011, 2012, there was a Wigan side that was relegating, and they ended up beating Man City in the is it the Carling Cup final of the FA Cup final, if I'm not mistaken, and they won. There was a Birmingham City that was
FA
going
Cup
down.
final with Roberto Martinez.
There was a Birmingham City that was going down, and they ended up winning the the FA Cup, and they ended up playing in Europe the following season. About 2-3 seasons ago, under what's the name, Ten Hag, Manchester United had no hope in Europe except for the FA Cup, and they ended up beating the Man City side. I think it's a possibility that it could happen. And you know, let, let's look at the Chelsea issue a bit, before we move to the EPL games preview. Um, do you think the strategy they've deployed so far, in terms of signing player for 7 years, 7 8 years, has come back to haunt them? Because look at Delap, you brought Delap in from Ipswich, gave him a 7 year contract, and Delap is nowhere. Garnacho, the same thing. A whole lot of these players, you brought them in, gave them 7 years. What that means is that you are guaranteeing their payment for the next 7 years, whether they perform or not. We've seen the case of Ozil when Atata said he doesn't want Ozil anymore. Ozil tried to sit down on the bench and didn't go anywhere because he knew his money was guaranteed, until he decided to say, okay, I wanted to play football, let me move to Galatasaray. We've seen this play out over and over again. Do you think this 7 year contract of a thing, do you think is what is coming back to haunt them now? Because the player does not have, they don't have any incentive. Whether I play well or I don't play well, whether you relegate or you don't relegate, my money is complete. Don't you think that's the problem with Chelsea at the moment?
Prior to now, I've never really seen a club give more than 5 players a 7 years contract or 6 years contract. I've never seen it. Never seen it since when I've been watching football. I only know an exception of Atletico Bilbao, Inaki Williams, that signed a 9 years contract. You understand? But after signing by anybody in Atletico Bilbao that signed maybe 6 7 years, you understand? But the pattern, no place in football would that even work. It's not supposed. It is not even so. It's not a system that's supposed to adopt. Let alone let it play out. Giving players 7 years contract, 6 years contract, it's a guarantee that even if you're on the bench, you're getting paid. You understand? And it's disheartening that we have a certain mentality that some players have, that I play, I no play, my money complete. You understand? So imagine recruiting players like that have the mentality that either I play or I don't play, I'm getting paid. So you are giving them a 6 years contract. Do you think they care about whatever is going to happen? You understand? Some of them don't care. You said they just, well, I'm still getting paid. Instead, though I know there might be some clauses in their contract, you understand, that might guarantee them, I might make them not to get their full pay, but then 6 years contract is say no, 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 no. You understand? It doesn't work and it is not working. So I don't know who even gave them that idea. Getting the whole transfer, the whole sporting backroom from Brighton. And I can't remember Brighton giving a player 6 years contract. You understand? So where is it coming from? Definitely, it is not coming from the Brighton setup. You understand? So I don't know why they are doing that. I don't know why. And the players they've gotten in, the mentality of catching them young is a good one. But in football, you need experience. You need the elite, those that are in their prime. You need those that have prime. Yes, you need those that have prime. But also you need those that are in their prime to remind those that have prime. Look at Chelsea now. Who is setting the benchmark?
Hmm.
That's the question. Who is setting the benchmark?
Hmm.
In as much as we mock other clubs, their players setting the benchmark. When you look
Hmm.
at Manchester United, you see Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, when you see somebody like Bruno Fernandes, you want to step up. You
True.
understand? You look at Manchester City, you see somebody like Erling Haaland, you want to step up. You see somebody like Sheki coming from League One and is bossing the league. You want to step up. You understand? You look at Arsenal, even though you look at someone like Declan Rice, you want to step up. You understand? You look at someone like Saka with his journey. You understand? From being a left back to being a right winger, you want to step up. You understand? So if you are looking at all of these players and you have this hunger in yourself to want to step up, then who in Chelsea is the benchmark? You look at Palmer. Palmer has had only one good season. This season he has 1 assist in the Premier League. Is it the benchmark? Is it the go-to guy? It's true now. The only person that we can say, okay, is actually trying to raise the roof is Enzo Fernandez. You understand?
Hmm.
And Enzo Fernandez is just trying, but yes, he's trying, but you need people since you've adopted the idea of getting youngsters, why not get a couple more of matured people?
Hmm.
Abramovich did it, getting Thiago Silva from
True.
PSG at the age
True.
of, I think, 35 or
No,
36.
37.
You understand?
37.
And he came in, did a fantastic job. Yeah, and he came in, did a fantastic. He knows the experience of Thiago Silva and his winning mentality over the years is required in that young Chelsea squad. You understand? But these young ones, you are bringing in, okay, Garnacho was signed as a left winger, right, for Chelsea. Who is he competing with for that left wing? Guidance. He's competing the left wing position with guidance. No, no, we need to sit down and analyze this thing very well. He's competing that left wing with guidance. Okay, now you look at João Pedro. At least João Pedro is trying to hold his own. Who is he competing that position with? Liam Delap. How many goals does Delap have this season? I'm not sure he has 4 goals this season.
2.
I don't know if you are getting the context now. Okay, now you look at Palmer. They say Palmer is indispensable, is this, is that. Abi, who is his understudy? You can say Estaval. Bring out their stats. You understand? So it is not adding up and the pattern is not working. So I think they need to just scrap it up. You understand? Get experienced players. You have somebody like David Alaba, he is available as a free agent. Bring him in. You understand? Bring him in for his mentality. He has won the Champions League with Bayern Munich. He has won the Champions League with Real Madrid. You understand? Bring him in. You need his mentality. You need his knowledge in teaching these people how to do things. You understand? You can see Manchester United, they adopted it when they brought in Rafael
Casemiro.
Varane. You understand? You can see at least he lifted, even with Casemiro as well. You understand? They lifted the standard and the mentality of the players that come. We are UEFA Champions League winners. This is not how you play. This is how you're supposed to play. You understand? Setting the template for others. You get same thing as Casemiro. I can remember Carragher telling Casemiro that leave the football before he leaves you. And at the age of 34, I don't think there's a better DM in the Premier League than Casemiro at the moment in terms of
True.
outputs. Imagine
True.
a DM having close to 7-8 goals. You understand? So, but he has set the standard high. So if another DM is coming in now, he knows he has a big shoe to fill.
True.
You understand me now? So when you look at Chelsea now, when they are coming in, what big shoes are they coming to fill in?
None.
The idea of 6-7 years is not working. Yes, get the young ones, but also mix it up with elderly ones. You understand? So that the young ones can learn. There's nobody they are learning from. And in football, you need to learn. Some players don't need to learn. They have the God-given talents. While some need to learn the trade. In Chelsea, there are players that need to learn the trade. And the transfer strategy is not helping them.
Okay. That's fantastic. I mean, you've explained a whole lot about the problem with Chelsea. I'm hoping that they get to address that during the transfer window, and by addressing that, they need to get a coach first and the rest of that. Probably be Iraola might probably make the move, because I mean there are a whole lot of coaches that are there, that are currently looking for a job, and probably maybe Iraola might move over. EP